Mr. Speaker, over the last year, we have heard many issues raised by the OECD and others with regard to the peer review and exchange of information and Barbados being placed on a grey list. The low level of filing by taxpayers in Barbados has also been raised as an issue, and one which we have to concede is a spot of bother for domestic tax authorities. We therefore propose a set of additional measures to encourage all applicable Barbadians to get into the routine of filing their returns, even if a refund is not due. It is also proposed that effective tax year 2011, the late filing fee will be increased from $100 to $500. Some, of course, Mr. Speaker, feel that it should be more. But we are doing this measure not as a revenue-generating measure or for that purpose, but to increase the level of compliance with the Income Tax Act with respect to filing whether or not a tax refund is due. Additionally, as is well known to this House and further afield, it has become almost folklore the stories of non-filing of income tax and payment of national insurance and VAT by some among the professional class in Barbados. Indeed, only recently, our very own Prime Minister in a debate in this House was moved to make an appeal to some professionals and self-employed to make their contributions to various state agencies as legally required. The Commissioner of Inland Revenue is already on record lamenting his utter frustration in getting complaints in these matters, and several international agencies and many of our key double taxation treaty partners have complained about the low level of tax filing and information available on such in Barbados. It is a matter of the gravest concern to this government and our regulators. As it is, of course, it has the potential to cause Barbados to lose its good standing internationally and face possible sanctions. Given this situation and the need to ensure that everybody not only makes their fair contribution to our national recovery efforts, but importantly, sir, that they bring their filings up to date, I will shortly propose to the Cabinet a series of measures designed to impose the severest penalties on the most egregious offenders for non-filing of income tax, payment of value-added tax in particular. And this, of course, is among the professional classes as well. When one considers the fact that between these two departments alone, sir, the outstanding arrears amount to more than 600 million Barbados dollars, the public will realize what an embarrassment it is for a country of Barbados' standing. The Inland Revenue Department has also noted that individuals are seeking to reduce the amount of taxes payable on their employment income by using losses in other business ventures and incorporating these in the filings. This practice in all sectors is particularly noticeable in the agricultural sector. I therefore propose, with effect from tax year 2011, that there will be a separation of business and employment income for computation of tax payable. This requirement is similar to that which currently exists for residential and commercial purposes. High net worth individuals. In 2009, the late Prime Minister in his budgetary presentation proposed to amend the Income Tax Act to reduce the effective rate of tax that an individual resident but not domiciled in Barbados will be required to pay on their foreign income. He also proposed that an individual domiciled in Barbados would be allowed to claim a foreign currency earnings credit in respect of his income earned outside of Barbados. Following a thorough review of the entire section of the Act dealing with this matter by a special committee, including the Commissioner of Inland Revenue, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, and others, I can inform the House that the changes are now ready and the appropriate amendments will be finalized and for its implementation effective income year 2012. And that is by way of updates here. Waivers of interest and penalty in the WIP program. This program was reintroduced recently with the purpose of assisting persons in arrears to government agencies to meet their obligations at minimum costs. The current program ends in December 2011 and offers a 50% waiver of outstanding penalties and interest where taxpayers who join the program are able to settle their liabilities within a stipulated time frame while remain current on their obligations. As an added incentive to encourage even greater participation, it is therefore proposed that with immediate effect, the following conditional amnesty will be offered under the waiver of interest and penalty program offered by the National Insurance Department, the Value Added Tax Division, and the Inland Revenue Department. A 100% waiver of interest and outstanding tax due to departments if payment of 80% of the amount due is made in full by a one-off cash payment. This incentive will remain in place until the close of the current calendar year, December 31st, 2011. This conditional amnesty will also be available on computations of penalty and interest for persons who have not filed their personal income tax for any period prior to 2007. The 5% late fee on taxes payable will be waived under this amnesty. However, the flat fee of $500 will be charged for each year of filing. Sir, when we look at the arrears on the books of the Inland Revenue Department, for example, this initiative will be at a loss of the Treasury of $59 million on arrears of $252 million owed to the Inland Revenue Department. It is, however, felt that this is for the good of the economy on the whole, in order to ensure that our filing of tax information is improved and is at a more acceptable level. Fees. In 2007, paramedics, emergency medical technicians, and emergency medical dispatchers were brought under the Paramedical Professional Act. The professional registration fee for this category of professionals were captured in the increase in fees under the Professions, Trade, and Business Registration Act, Cap 373. This caused them to pay an inordinately high fee vis-a-vis their salary scale. To correct this imbalance, I now propose that this category of professional will be treated in the same manner as nurses, and therefore the fee applicable to this category of medical workers. Amendments to the Occupational Pensions Benefits Regulations. Mr. Speaker, prior to the proclamation of the Occupational Benefit Pension Regulations on April 1st, 2011, pensions which were registered under Part 725(4) of the Income Tax Regulations 1969 were provided with tax-free status as follows, and I quote, "Not more than 25% of the benefits payable may be commuted and paid in the form of a tax-free lump sum," unquote. To ensure that there were no conflicts between the income tax regulations and the occupational pensions benefit regulations, the income tax regulations were repealed. Section 29(5) of the Occupational Pensions Benefit Regulations, while making provision for the commutation of pension benefits on retirement, does not, however, make specific provision for a similar tax-free basis for the payment in the form of a lump sum. this was inadvertently omitted. Since the proclamation of the regulations, a number of issues and concerns have been raised by stakeholders that need to be addressed. These are currently being reviewed by the Financial Services Commission and assisted by a pension advisory committee drawn from both the public and private sectors. Notwithstanding this, it is opined that all matters that relate to income taxes should be consolidated under the Income Tax Act. During the current financial year, the Ministry of Finance will be undertaking, for the Cabinet's attention, a complete review of the domestic tax regime in Barbados, out of which is expected to come a number of recommendations on the way forward to further improving the domestic tax system. Nonetheless, we believe that the current and prospective pensioners should not be disadvantaged during this review process, and therefore I have determined that the provision permitting tax-free status of 25% lump sum payments to persons on reaching retirement age will be reinstated in the income tax regulations. The effective date of this reinstatement will be the date of the coming into operation of the Occupational Pension Benefits Regulation, which was February 15th, 2011. Additionally, a number of concerns have also been raised with respect to the onerous nature of the current fee structure as set out in the Occupational Benefits Regulations. The Financial Services Commission has therefore reviewed these and has recommended that they be revised, taking into consideration the size of the pension plan based on its membership. I agree with the fee structure that has been recommended by the Financial Services Commission, which is set out in Schedule 1 attached to this document, and propose that the new structure will take effect from September 1st, 2011. Finally, Mr. Speaker, sir, with respect to the Occupational Pensions and Benefit Regulations, the Occupational Pension Benefits Act 2003 permits members of a defined contribution pension plan to purchase an annuity at retirement. Given the high costs associated with annuity purchases, it has been determined that another option should be made available to ensure that retirees receive maximum benefits at reduced costs. I therefore propose that the Occupational Benefits Pension Regulations be amended to permit a drawdown account to be used as a variation on one form of pension payment available to a member upon retirement from a defined contribution plan. The drawdown account will permit controlled withdrawals of pension benefits over a period of time within a defined contribution pension plan.